The last day to submit our grad school lists, I quietly flew 1,000 miles to Parker's university to surprise him. I stopped under his graduate dorm and, playing stranger, asked him for his WhatsApp. His roommate answered by reflex, "Sorry, my buddy's taken." I grinned mischievously, about to say I was the girlfriend. Before I could, a pair of delicate arms curled around Parker's elbow and a syrupy voice challenged me. "I'm Parker's girlfriend. We're crazy about each other, so back off, little homewrecker." Parker tilted his head, gave her an adoring smile, and left her hand where it was. Then he frowned at me. "Chloe doesn't know you're my girlfriend, she's just shielding me from admirers. Don't overthink it." In that instant it felt like ice water had been poured over my skull. That night I booked the red-eye home. Parker texted an explanation: "Chloe's a scholarship kid, grad school is rough for her. I pay her to run interference. Don't be mad. Once you're here we'll all be in the same lab. Apologize to her so things won't be awkward." I kept folding the clothes I'd need for grad school and didn't answer. He had no idea that the same day I got back I changed my first choice school to Tsinghua University, the place that had been courting me all along. Not out of spite. I simply realized betting my future on a man like him wasn't worth it. I'd been away from the airport barely 3 hours when I marched back to the gate with my suitcase. While I sat in the departure lounge forcing my breathing to slow, Professor Grant's message popped up. "Hayden, I still hope you'll put yourself first. Your future belongs to you alone, and Tsinghua is excellent, don't make a choice you'll regret." I stared at the screen, but my brain kept replaying the scene. Parker stepping in front of Chloe, voice arctic: "Hayden, enough. I already told you, Chloe's just deflecting groupies. If you weren't so paranoid, I wouldn't need the hassle. You should thank her for sacrificing her time to watch me for you instead of throwing a tantrum." I could hardly believe my ears. "Thank her for watching you?" My voice shook. "Parker, is saying I have a girlfriend really so hard that you have to hire someone to play the part?" I'd begged him more than once to post us on social media, but he always claimed Professor Grant would scold him for being distracted. Funny, when it came to pretending with a junior, Professor Grant suddenly didn't matter. Now he wanted to blame me for getting hit on. Parker opened his mouth, then looked away. "I've got a clear conscience, so stop making a scene in public. Chloe and I are just friends." I fought back tears and tugged the corners of my mouth upward. "If your conscience is so clear, why have you never mentioned her? Isn't that guilt?" My words seemed to jab the sore spot he kept hidden. Flushing, he shoved me hard. "Stop your filthy nonsense." I nearly toppled. Chloe happened to steady me. She scolded Parker with a pretty frown, then cooed an apology: "So you're Hayden. Sorry, you look different from the photos Parker showed me. I didn't recognize you." She studied my face, malice flickering in her eyes, voice still feather-soft: "Hayden, please don't blame Parker. You can't imagine how popular he is here. Girls ask for his number every day, some even wait outside the lab." She lifted her gaze to him, admiration and tenderness shining. I hated watching him turn them down again and again, so I offered to help. "I swear. I only wanted to be kind." Every word felt like a fly forced down my throat, impossible to swallow or spit out. I refused to believe Parker missed the digs she wrapped in sweetness. His own mother had died of a broken heart after his father's cheating. He was quicker than I was to sniff out ambiguity. Yet this time he didn't contradict her. When she finished, he even patted the back of her hand in approval. Watching them cling together like star-crossed lovers while whispers rustled around us, rage and hurt surged over my head. "Kindness?" My voice quivered. "If that's kindness, then what do you call the 100 flights I took, the nights I spent hunting down your favorite snacks, the thousands of miles I squeezed into my schedule just to see you? You claim goodwill, so where's your conscience?" My last thread of control snapped. I snatched the heavy care package beside me and hurled it at Parker. "Parker, have you no shame?" Before it could hit him, a figure darted in front. Chloe shut her eyes and let the bag of pastries smack her shoulder. The dull thud sounded. She sagged into Parker's arms. He held her tight, and when he lifted his gaze, only loathing remained for me. "Hayden, you're insane." All my fury, grief, and defiance iced over in that instant. I stood motionless, staring at the man I'd loved half my life, the one I'd thought I'd marry, at the annoyance in his eyes and the instinctive shield he formed around Chloe. Suddenly everything felt pointless. Without a word I yanked up my suitcase and walked away. From behind came Chloe's teary plea. "Parker, I'm fine. Stop hugging me, go coax Hayden back." His roommate added awkwardly, "Yeah, your girlfriend came all this way. It's late. A girl alone isn't safe. Talk it out." My steps hesitated, my fingers clenched. Then Parker's frigid voice sliced through, decisive, "Let her leave if she wants. I never asked her to come." My heart dropped into darkness. I didn't look back. I hailed a cab straight to the airport. I dabbed my eyes, focused again on Professor Grant's text, ready to reply. The screen lit up with an incoming call from Parker. After a second's hesitation, I picked up. "Are you at the airport?" The concern in his voice made my heart waver for a split second. "Yeah," I answered softly, took a deep breath, and decided to give this relationship one last chance. "I was a little impulsive today." "As long as you explain." Before I could finish, he cut me off. "Good, you're at the airport. Chloe's mom just called, she's sick and Chloe has to fly home right away. She's never been on a plane before. Change your flight and go with her in a bit." The words I'd meant to say jammed in my throat. The final tremor of hesitation in my chest died. I gave a soft laugh, my voice calmer than I expected. "Parker, if you're worried about Chloe flying alone, then you go with her. I'm not her babysitter." He hadn't expected me to refuse, his tone turned impatient. "Hayden, don't be so selfish. She's just a girl." I suddenly found it all ridiculous. He fretted over Chloe, this girl, taking her first flight, and for once he reached out after a fight, swallowing his pride to keep her safe. Yet it never occurred to him that for 3 straight years I'd flown back and forth between 2 cities hundreds of miles apart dozens of times. Had I ever looked afraid? The disappointment and rage that had brewed all night condensed into something solid. My voice went icy. "What does that have to do with me? She is my junior, after all." I exhaled long and slow, as though breathing out every ounce of effort and grievance I'd given in these 3 years. "What do you and I have to do with each other?" The other end of the line fell abruptly silent, then came his stunned, angry voice. "You're choosing now to make a scene? Because of her? Jordan, what the hell?" "My meaning," I said, word by word, "is, Parker, we're done." I didn't wait for another syllable. Hung up. Blocked. Then I reopened the half-edited text and finished it. "Professor Grant, I've decided to take your advice and go to Tsinghua. Could you help me contact the student rep?" The plane touched down at 6 in the morning. When I powered my phone back on, a dozen messages flooded in. Most were from friends Parker and I shared. "What's going on with you two? That's the bag you asked me to queue 3 months for in the Netherlands to celebrate Parker's top-tier journal, right? He let his junior sell it second-hand on social media. What's that about?" I paused, tapped the screenshot. In the photo, the limited edition fountain pen I'd scrimped to buy, the watch I'd chosen with care, the perfume I'd begged a friend to bring from abroad, all still in their boxes, piled in a corner like unwanted junk. Chloe's caption read, "Senior Parker says these things are useless and take up space, so he asked me to clear them out. Tilda help me earn some airfare. Kind souls, anyone want this trash?" A thin needle seemed to prick my heart, sharp and brief. I remembered when we were kids, every child at the school gate had been picked up except Parker, crouched by the curb. I walked over. "Isn't today your birthday? Why hasn't your mom come?" He hung his head, voice low. "I don't have a birthday. Mom says Dad walked out because I was born. I'm bad luck." I gripped his cold hand and said solemnly, "So what? Everyone deserves a birthday. Come to my house, I'll buy you gifts from now on." After that, I gave him little presents all the time, and Parker slowly brightened under my company. He always said my appearance made the person he was today. "You're my little son, stay with me forever, okay? Just me." Back then I'd nodded without hesitation, vowing to stay with him always. But times changed, only I seemed to keep the promise. I shut my eyes and swallowed the sour ache. Since he cast the promise aside first, choosing my own future is only fair. The day after I got back to my hometown, I met Logan from Tsinghua in person. Appreciation lit his eyes. The moment we sat down, he slid a stack of project files to me. "Emery, we meet at last. Our group has wanted you on board. Finally, we've got our wish." No small talk, he dove straight to the project's core, and we talked the entire afternoon. Immersing myself in the research swept away the gloom of the past days. 3 straight days of deep discussion, directions, plans, future paths, each conversation making my road clearer. By the last day we'd all exchanged contacts. My transfer to Tsinghua was settled. After seeing Logan off, I was about to hail a cab when someone seized my wrist. Parker. Hayden. His voice was hoarse, eyes hostile on Logan's retreating back. Who's he? I pulled free and stepped back. My senior. Something you need, senior. Parker's brows knit tight, displeasure lacing his tone. If you want to know about my school, why not ask me? Why chat with random guys? Your first choice grad program is here, isn't it? Then he paused, as if enlightenment had struck, and gave a knowing smile. Fine. I get you were upset, but no need to parade another man to make me jealous. Hayden, I won't fall for that, so dial down the possessiveness, okay? Looking at him, I felt even explaining was a waste. Yet he rattled on. Chloe and I are just senior and junior. Her family's struggling, she's naive, I'm only helping her out, plus it keeps other girls from bothering me. When I stayed silent he added, the thing, she noticed some stuff was near expiry, said it's wasteful not to use it. I figured I didn't need it, so I let her sell it for airfare to visit her mom. That might even help patch things between you two. Enough. I came to find you, what more do you want? His gaze swept the row of shops, tone softening. Let's go shopping today. I'll buy you nicer things, happy now? In his eyes I saw that certainty, convinced I'd be soothed by a few sweet words, just like always. I didn't yank my hand away right away. I just lifted my eyes and looked at him, quiet and steady. The face that once could tug every string of my emotion now looked like a stranger's. Maybe long-distance love had been wrong from the start. 1,000 miles can change anyone. Clinging to the past would only keep hurting me. Fine. I heard my own voice, flat, almost bored. Tomorrow I would fly to Beijing. Since tonight was my last here, I wouldn't refuse parting hush money. Take it, and we're truly even. This place is beneath me. Let's go next door. I turned and headed straight for the most expensive boutique on the block. Parker followed, a flicker of surprise crossing his face before settling into an I knew it smirk. I barely glanced at styles, my gaze locked on price tags. Anything close to what I'd once spent on gifts for him went straight to the saleswoman. This, and this, wrap them. My tone was calm, like I was choosing cereal at a grocery store. At first he slickly slid his card across the counter, but as the pile of receipts grew thicker, each swipe came a fraction slower. Still, I stood quietly beside him, no tantrums this time, and that let him breathe again, even puff up with a ridiculous pride. He leaned in, voice low and loose with victory, tinged with unconscious boasting. Chloe was right, girls like you just need a little shopping to cheer up. See how sweet she is. She even told me to indulge you more. Once your lab mates, take a page from her book. I was lifting a brooch to the light, my fingers froze for a hair's breadth. Learn from her. Learn the dagger hidden in silk, or the way she plays gentle and generous while every word pits woman against woman. His speech felt like some feudal lord telling the wife to get along with the favored concubine. The idea that I'd once wanted a lifetime with this man felt absurd. I didn't argue. I simply set the brooch down and chose a more expensive one. While I wondered which pieces the rest of the Tsinghua team might like, Parker's phone blared a custom ringtone. Chloe's Sam, pick up. Your Chloe baby has an imperial decree. His spine stiffened. He answered instantly. What? Her mom's doctor is harassing her. Don't worry, I'm on my way. He hung up, voice frantic. It's Chloe, she's in trouble at the hospital. I have to go. He spun to leave without another glance. Parker. I called him one last time. He whipped around, brows knotted. Hayden, Chloe really needs me. Don't start, don't start. Looking at that face already accusing me, I felt oddly free. I'd wanted to ask if he remembered what day this was. Today marks 25 years since we met, 8,999 days. We used to promise we'd marry on the 10,000th day. Every previous 1,000-day anniversary had been our private wedding countdown. The most special date only we shared. But his eyes held only urgency to run to another woman. He'd long since tossed those meaningless numbers into the clouds. It didn't matter anymore. Nothing. I shook my head. Just don't forget to leave your card number with the clerk, I'm not finished. His stride hitched, surprised I only cared about the bill. He tossed a hurried got it and rushed out. That night I boarded my flight to Beijing with a dozen glossy shopping bags. Hours later, while he was fluttering around Chloe in the hospital, his phone buzzed non-stop with high-value charge alerts. The total was close to what he'd once guessed I'd spent on gifts for him. A sudden unease gripped him. He slipped away from Chloe, dialed my number from the corridor, still call blocked. Still mad. He hung up, anxiety rising, then rang my mom. He fought to keep his voice level. Auntie, is Hayden's stuff packed? I'm heading back tomorrow and could bring some. Mom sounded puzzled. Sam? Didn't Hayden tell you? Her flight landed in Beijing tonight. She didn't enroll at my school, she chose Tsinghua. Her boxes are already shipped there. What? When I landed, a message from Ellis popped up on my screen. Hayden, Logan called yesterday to say you're the most promising student he's seen in years. Go shine, I know you'll thrive at Tsinghua. My finger paused over the screen before I typed back. Ellis, I'll work hard. The second I hit send, Parker rang again. I answered but said nothing. Hayden, where the hell are you? His voice was a restrained roar. Your mom says you're at Tsinghua, what game is this? The literal kind, I replied, calmer than I expected. Parker, I told you, we're done. Because of Chloe. Incredulity cracked his tone. Jordan, grow up. I've explained, she's just my junior, family problems. I hired her to keep other girls away. You're too jealous, so I didn't tell you. Listening to his righteous interrogation, I flashed back to winter of sophomore year. He was prepping for grad school, sleepless with stress, and called at 3 a.m. I bought the first morning bullet train ticket without hesitation. Dragging my suitcase, I stood outside his dorm before sunrise. He hugged me with reddened eyes, voice choking. Hayden, what if I don't get in? I patted his back and said over and over, it doesn't matter if you don't get in, I'll support you. Later he got his wish. The day the acceptance letter arrived he spun me in circles, whispering in my ear, Hayden, the moment I graduate I'll marry you. I'll make you the happiest bride in the world. But now the man who promised to marry me is scolding me for being petty because of another girl. Parker, I draw a slow breath. Do you remember the first fountain pen I gave you? The line goes quiet. He clearly didn't expect the question. Yeah, what about it? Impatience edges his tone. That pen cost me 3 months of living expenses. I speak evenly. I ate only 2 meals a day back then just to save for it, because you once said your dad had a similar pen, your mom's love token to him. A few seconds of silence hum through the phone. Why bring this up now? Parker sounds irritated. That's ancient history. Yes, ancient history. Just like the vows he once swore, also reduced to ancient history. Nothing, really. I give a soft laugh. I just realized that pen must be worth something. When you have Chloe list it on the second-hand market, tell her to price it high. Hayden. His voice spikes. Must you be so sarcastic? I told you it was a misunderstanding, whether it was or wasn't, you know the truth. I check the time, 30 minutes until the lab meeting. Parker, one last question. Go ahead. If yesterday you ditched me for the hospital and I'd run into trouble at the mall, would you have dropped everything and raced to me the way you did for Chloe? The silence stretches so long I think the call dropped. Finally his voice comes out hoarse. It's different. Chloe, she. Enough. I have my answer. Different. Of course it's different. Chloe is the one he must shield, must pity, and I'm the Jordan who should be reasonable, who shouldn't make scenes. Parker, let's part on good terms. Treat Chloe well, at least then I can say you were honest. I hang up the instant I finish. Before I clear the gallery, I take one last look at the photo of us from childhood to now. The boy in the picture always grinned wide, arm tight around the girl, as if he owned the whole world. I tap delete. Goodbye, Parker. Goodbye to the stubborn devotion that consumed my entire youth. Life at Tsinghua University is even busier than I imagined. Logan's team is the top tier in the country. The advisor is a giant in the field, every member a standout from their own school. At my first lab meeting I sit in the corner, palms sweating, listening to seniors debate frontier topics I'd only met in research papers. Jordan. The advisor's sudden call snaps my spine straight. Logan says you worked on something related as an undergrad, share your thoughts. I inhale, force myself calm, and lay out my ideas. Once I'm talking shop, the jitters fade, replaced by sharp focus and excitement. When I finish, the room is silent a beat. The advisor adjusts his glasses, clearly pleased. Solid foundation, clear thinking. Logan, you and Hayden handle this project. I want a preliminary plan next month. After the meeting, Logan walks over with a coffee. Nice job. The advisor rarely hands out praise that directly. Avery, I say, taking the cup, embarrassed. I was actually shaking. Normal. I did the same at the start. He smiles, steadiness glinting with rare teasing. But keeping your logic that crisp under pressure? Impressive. I know what he means. Outside the building, Parker is waiting, haggard, dark circles stamped under his eyes. Hayden. He rushes over the moment he spots me. I waited 3 days, why won't you answer? Why'd you block me? Instinctively I step back. Logan shifts to shield me. Let's keep this civil, classmate. Parker ignores him, eyes locked on me. Hayden. 5 minutes, that's all. There's nothing left to say. I turn to leave. Is it because of him? He jabs a finger at Logan, voice cracking upward. You're breaking up with me for this guy? Jordan, you cheated first, didn't you? Passers-by glance over at the commotion. Staring at his hysteria, I feel I'm looking at a stranger. Is this really the boy I loved for years? The one who gently wiped my tears and swore he'd protect me forever? Parker, I hear myself say calmly, we're over, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. You cheated first. When did I ever cheat? I've told you 100 times, Chloe and I are just friends. He seizes my wrist, eyes bloodshot. I never said the word breakup. You didn't have to. I wrench free. Every time you chose between Chloe and me, you picked her. Parker, love is proved by actions, not promises. I study his ashen face. And every action of yours told me I no longer mattered. It's not like that. He shakes his head, voice trembling. Hayden, I always thought you were strong, that you didn't need me, while Chloe, she needs your protection, she's fragile, she's pitiful. I finish for him. So I deserve to be ignored, brushed off, expected to yield, right? Parker opens his mouth, but no words come. Parker, I'm tired. I turn and walk toward Logan's car without hesitation. From now on, take good care of your Chloe. Hayden. He shouts my name after me, voice breaking. I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Just one more chance, please. 1. I don't look back. In the car, Logan asks nothing, only hands me a pack of tissues. Watching the city streak past the window, I finally let the tears fall. Not for Parker, for the girl who once gave her heart without reservation. What are you thinking about? Logan's voice tugged me out of the memory. I shook my head. Nothing much, just the project. He didn't press. He only said, Professor Grant thinks highly of you. Work hard, there's an MIT exchange slot opening next year, and I believe you can fight for it. MIT? My eyes lit up. Yeah, our group collaborates with a lab there. He paused and looked at me. But it'll be brutal. Be ready. I'm not afraid. The words flew out of me. Afraid of what? I used to fear losing Parker, fear that our love would buckle under the distance, fear that I wasn't good enough for him. Now those fears were gone. I finally understood. The only thing in this world that will never betray you is your own hard work and strength. After that day, I poured almost every waking minute into classes and research. Up at 6, in the lab by 7, back to the dorm at 10. No weekends off if I wasn't reading research papers. I was running an experiment. Logan warned I'd burn out, but I loved the grind. Only when I was swamped did the suffocating memories stay quiet. A month later, our project made a breakthrough. Professor Grant was thrilled and treated the whole group to dinner. He clapped my shoulder at the table. Hayden, you're the most driven student I've advised in years. Keep it up and your future is limitless. I drank a little that night. On the walk back, Logan kept pace beside me. Beijing's autumn had turned cold. Wind rattled the plane trees and sent leaves swirling. Senior, I said suddenly. Why do people change? Logan was quiet a moment. People don't change, time just moves, and we move with it. Some of us simply end up on different roads. I nodded and said nothing more. Yes, Parker and I had walked onto different roads. At the end of November, I got the email. I'd passed the first round for the MIT exchange. That same inbox held another message from Parker. He'd somehow found my university address, and the mail ran thousands of words. He wrote that he and Chloe had cut ties for good, that he finally saw how wrong he'd been, that he dreamed of me every night and woke to a soaked pillow. Hayden, I sold the house my mom left me and bought a small condo near your campus. I know you don't need me anymore, but let me watch over you from afar, no interference, just watching. At the end he wrote, Hayden, I know I have no right to say this, but I truly regret it. If time could spin backward, I'd never let anyone come between us, never let anyone hurt you. But Hayden, time can't go back, can it? I stared at the screen a long while, then closed it without answering. Some wounds can't be wiped away by sorry. Some missed chances last a lifetime. I shut the inbox and went back to polishing my MIT application essay. Outside, Tsinghua's ginkgo leaves blazed gold. March came, and I officially landed the exchange spot. Before I left, the group threw me a farewell party. Professor Grant raised his glass. Hayden, keep charging ahead over there, make us Chinese proud. Everyone laughed. Logan sat across from me and lifted his cup. Safe flight. After the party he walked me to my dorm. If anything comes up over there, message me anytime. He handed me a thick folder. Materials I compiled back when I was at MIT, plus contact info for a couple of Professor Grants, you'll need it. I took the folder, warmth flooding me. Avery, thank you for everything these past months. Don't mention it. He smiled, eyes gentle and clear in the moonlight. Hayden, you're brilliant, you deserve a better future. I nodded hard. I'll make it count. The morning I flew out, Beijing drizzled. I had the window seat, watching the city shrink as we climbed. My phone buzzed, a message from Logan. Text me when you land. And remember our deal, when you're back, we finish that project together. I replied sure, then powered off. As the plane pierced the clouds, sunlight poured through the window, bright and warm. I opened my eyes to the blue sky and the endless cloud sea, and a slow smile spread across my face. Goodbye, past. Hello, future. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it with friends. We look forward to your comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more great stories. See you next time.